Wonder if they'll kick us off for this.
Let's start saying
People be like, what's all this like music about?
174. Remember those numbers. 174.
174 hertz.
Yeah.
Did you make this? Did you make this shareable on Facebook?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I like it.
Soothing. A little peace and tranquility. Exactly
Right?
what I need in my life.
Without a doubt.
Normally we jump out of the gate shooting guns blazing, Danny. Oh man, I just want to roll my shoulders.
I know, right? I want to take my shoes off, stand in the ground.
Keep your shirt on, Danny. Don't take your shirt off, please.
I said my shoes, not my shirt.
Oh, sorry. Freudian slip.
Dumbass.
478. You know what 478 is, Danny?
No.
We're going to teach them 478 today. So you have 174 and 478.
I usually listen. I listen to 936. I listen to 639.
I listen to 8679309.
You don't even know what the fuck it is. It's 8675309.
Whatever. What's going on, everyone? We got to jump out of our 174 frequency hertz intro. All right, because Danny suggested that. And of course, it has some kind of a meaning to today's podcast, today's broadcast. I want to thank you guys, as always, for joining us today. We're going a little early today. We're kicking it off on Tuesday at 12:15 p.m. instead of 2 p.m. for once. Man, Danny and myself were had not much to do. I should say not much to do at this time right now over there on the East Coast in New York and Maryland. So we said, Danny, let's get on, get it done early. Got a shitload of things I got to do today. So nevertheless, here we are. I want to welcome you guys to the broadcast. All we ask is that you guys get you to your podcast channels and platforms, and hit subscribe. It's free is in your budget. All right. Yes, we're broadcasting live across social media platforms, which eventually we're going to go live across TikTok and Instagram as well. But make sure you guys, if you watch this on social media, on Facebook, make sure you share it. Just share it. Put it on your page. Let people join you in either loving us or hating us or both. It's okay. You can do both. That's the beautiful thing about this country. Your opinion. God bless you, Danny. You know,
it's a cough.
You're entitled to your opinion. I still said God bless you, so zip it. So, you'll
know my sneeze, boy. It'll rock the freaking house.
I should know it by now. But we're excited. We're on season 6, episode 7 right now of the KFIT Talk podcast with John and Danny, coming at you live from the Koga Fitness Studio up here in Long Island, New York. And Danny's down there in her gym in Westminster, Maryland, the Danny K Gym and Wellness, #1 gym in Maryland. So if you're in the area, or if you're not in the area, get to the area and lift some weights with her. All right, so check it out. We got a good podcast today, as always. All right, last week we had was her name Rachel, Danny, our guest? Was that Rachel last week?
Yep.
Great professional mom. So if you guys haven't checked out our professional mom broadcast last week with Danny's client and member Rachel, check it out. It's live on the platforms, and also make sure, like we said, hit subscribe. So we're at KFIT Talk. We talk fitness, food, life, and fun for about an hour or so. All right, we're entitled to our opinion, just like you're entitled to yours. So sit back, enjoy it, hit a like, put a comment. We're not going to shut you down. You can say F John Koga. I'm not going to pull the comment off, kid. We don't do shit like that. You're entitled, but you better have some facts to back it up. All right. And we also, of course, we love how you guys always, of course, support us and send us text messages and whatnot. Well, listen, Danny, right now we're at 26 countries. Every month, every week it grows. 26 countries the podcast analytics have showed. So we want to thank our listeners that are listening and subscribing from all over the world. All right. They call me Mr. Worldwide for a reason. Although somebody last week, Danny, somebody last week called me an arrogant F-U-C-K. And for those of you guys that know me, I'm the last. I wish I could be arrogant, man. Unfortunately, I'm not, but I'll take it. It's a comment.
But see, so many people take your, like, if they don't know you, and you take like a little, like a jokester kind of thing as an arrogant thing. And it's like, look, no, shut the fuck up, because you don't even know him. So, obviously if you're saying that stuff, it's to laugh at, because you don't even know him. So
I know. But anyway, Danny, so little minor altercation, which we'll get into in a future date. But yeah, so they call me two people, husband and wife, called me an arrogant fuck. I cracked up. Not to mention they were sloppy drunk, but we'll save that for another podcast. Anyway, listen, we got a lot to talk about today. We got some great topics today, man. And of course, we want to thank our sponsor, Sizzle International, which is the #1 health and wellness company out there on the planet. Danny's holding up her Sizzle Lean. If you're looking for a product to put in your body to help burn fat, build some muscle, mental clarity, mental focus, you're looking for collagens, you're looking for homemade products, soaps, detergents, toothwash, mouthwash, anything you can buy and you're buying on a regular basis. We have a better version of it, an all natural, paraben free, chemical free version of it that's right at the same price point, if not better. And if you want to get a little side hustle and make some serious residual income, we got a way to do that. We don't throw that at you guys, but it would be shame on us and remiss of us if we didn't mention that there is this real significant and strong business opportunity attached with Sizzle International. SISEL, Science, Innovation, Success, Energy, and Longevity. All right. I'm going to hand it over to Danny K. You guys know her, you love her. If you don't, you're going to learn to know her and love her real soon. And
or think that I'm arrogant. I don't know.
Maybe they'll throw some. Danny, I got to tell you, anybody calls you anything other than what they're supposed to call you, I'm going toe to toe with these mother effers because I love you. I love you, Danny. But hey, it's the beautiful thing. It's on your arm. It says freedom, right? You're entitled freedom of speech.
No,
it says
we the people.
We the people, same shit. All right, you're entitled to it. You're entitled to let your voice be heard and let it be heard. All right. But judge us by the way we treat you and also by the content that we bring you. All right. We want to talk fitness, food, life, and fun. Chew the fat with us. Have some fun. Sit down. Break some bread. Have a little Sizzle H2 stick for your water, and enjoy the ride. Danny, what do you got going on down there? And I saw that beautiful post about your guide daughter Zena. Love it. Talk to us, Danny. Introduce yourself.
Today's Zena's birthday. She's 3. That's my little. Oh my God, it's my baby girl. And then got it tattooed on my. You can't freaking see it.
Big gun.
You can't see it. I got it. I got a footprint tattooed on me.
I saw it.
She's getting old enough to know and understand. I'm like, that's your foot. That's your foot. And she's like, me? That's me? I'm like, yeah. What's that say? It's like Xena Sky. That's what it says. So yeah, so today she's 3, the 16, which is tattooed on my so little tidbit. So 16 is my angelic number. Like that's just it follows me with people that, have something to significant in my life. And so I have it tattooed on my shoulder. Well, the day that I got Zena's footprint tattooed on me was July 16th, a couple of years ago. It was also the 16th tattoo that I didn't even plan it that way. I'm like, I was counting there. Lindsay was like, how many tattoos you got? I'm like, blah, 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 blah. 16. Oh my God. I mean, now I've got like 18 or 19. I don't even know. But so it was pretty cool when I got that. It was like all tying into like the 16. And also a shout out to my Aunt Nancy, my mom's oldest sister. She's I don't know how old she's in her 80s, but she is like such a whippersnapper. But today's her birthday as well.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Aunt Nancy. Happy birthday, Zena.
Yep.
Got some crazy shit going on at the gym with some motherfucker that kind of inadvertently got a code, and he was coming in just to charge his cell phone. And I can't do anything. The cops can't do anything because he inadvertently, like he got a code, which I'll try and make a long story short.
Hold that thought. So wait, did you have to get the cops to try to intervene?
I tried, but because he was given the code at some point, even though like he got his girlfriend gave him the code to come in and get her bag. I don't know, almost a year ago, right? Yes, it's a downfall, but because you can pass out the codes. Well, you can also pass out key fobs. Here, John, here's my key fob. Go in and get a workout. You know what I mean? So nothing is foolproof, right? But you're going on honesty, word of mouth. I've got cameras, dumbass.
Yep.
Hello.
Yep.
Crooks are stupid. Anyway, so she was like, hey, he's coming in to get my bag, and when he came in, and I was like, you know what? You're not a member here. And he was like, oh, I'm getting, so and so's bag. I was like, okay, but y'all you can't use this code. You know what I mean? Like it's given,
Right.
but you can't use this code. Only members, right? Only the members that have the codes. Each member gets an individual code.
Okay.
So okay, so I'm thinking everything's fine, cool. Well, then like a couple of like probably last month, she messaged me, and it was like 1:30 in the morning, and she was messaging me like he's drunk, he's coming in. Like I'm like, first of all, he's drunk and coming into my gym. He doesn't need to be in my gym at 1:30 in the morning. He's not a member. I'm gonna call the cops, or you know what I
No
mean? Like
doubt.
so
No
eventually
doubt,
we were going
baby.
back and forth. 1:30 in the morning. I wake up to go pee and I see this message, and so like, we're never off duty, right? Um, so, I was like, look, if I have to get out of bed and get my ass to the gym and beat his ass, I will. I mean, whatever I need to do, he is not allowed in my gym. Especially drunk. I mean, he could hurt himself. He could, screw up my shit. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. So I thought everything was taken care of. She messaged me back. She's like, he's not going. He's here, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. So I thought he was, everything was fine. I'm like, but we're going to change your code and you will not give this out. You will not give this code out, like,
Right.
or I'm going to cancel your membership, whatever. So everything was cool. We got a new code, blah blah blah. Well, like recently, someone said, there's like this weirdest thing. This guy came in with this other guy that didn't have a shirt and blah blah blah. I was like, what the fuck? I'm looking at the cameras. I'm like, oh hell no.
Wow.
Texting up. And and I was like, look, this is not good. So I had to like, so basically the code that she had, was like, whatever it was, right? Well,
Yeah.
I canceled that code out and gave her a new code. Well, he figured out something else around something, and he was able to, crack a code and come in. But
Wow.
that's not illegal because he first was given a code.
Oh,
But
that.
the second code he was not given.
Yeah.
He, figured it out, he cracked it, whatever he did, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep. Yep.
and, but that's not illegal because he originally was given a code. So I'm
I,
like, yeah, okay, not
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so he wouldn't look up his record. I knew he had a record, and I couldn't find it on our Maryland case search or whatever. His name just kept coming up blank. And I'm like, this is crazy because I know he's got a record. So I had, someone else, one of my friends, look it up, who was able to see a shit ton of stuff. And she's like, oh my God, a rap sheet 3 miles long. Okay. So, domestic violence, gun violation,
Yep. Yep.
you name it, it's he's under a violation of probation, all this stuff. So I call the cops and I'm like, look, and he was like, well, we can't do anything, blah, blah, blah. We can maybe possibly get him for um trespassing if you're in the gym when he comes in. I'm like, he doesn't come, he comes in at 1:30 a.m. I'm not here. You know
Right.
what I mean? So back and forth with the cops, like 3 or 4 times within that day. I mean, here I am. I'm supposed to be doing my work, and I
Yeah.
I have to focus on all this crap, right?
Yeah.
So then Friday he tries. I can't. I deleted all the codes of any variants that he could, figure out from like what he had. So I
Yeah.
deleted them all, and hoping
That
it
he
wasn't a
had.
member, right? Anyway, so um he came up Friday and he tried. I looked at the scans. I mean, so anybody that's looking and listening, I see scans, I see the camera, I get notifications, I know when you're in the gym, like I know when you're not, like whatever, right?
Right. Right.
So
Right.
and and I will, you know, pursue whatever I need to pursue. So anyway, so he tries this
And
code and it wasn't
45-pound
getting in.
barbell to the back of the head. But
Yeah,
anyway, I
right.
don't condone
So
violence.
so he tried this code and he couldn't get in. You can see him on the camera, like getting frustrated, and I was like, haha. Well, then eventually he came in with her code, her new code. I was like,
Oh,
you
that's got to be
gave me
illegal.
a code out, blah, blah, blah. He's
Yeah.
like, no, he stole my phone and what, and like, no, I'm deleting your code out. No one is in here. So then eventually she said he was arrested, and so all this stuff, so he's behind bars, but I have to confirm before I open up,
I got you.
for
Well,
membership again. So
and that sucks, Dan. I hate to hear that.
yeah,
And the reason why I said it because I had to fill out, which I'm not going to get into now. There's an open investigation. I had to fill out a little incident report myself with the wonderful police department that we have here in New York. Okay, and alcohol was involved in this one too. So let's leave it at that. Okay, but
right.
so I had to fill out an incident report, and there's an open investigation and it's going to make for a really good podcast in the very near future. And listen, you know, some people just don't think, man. You know, don't take kindness for weakness. You take my
Yeah,
kindness or Danny K's kindness. Don't. It's a big mistake.
right.
And guess what? KARMA.
That's
And
tattooed on me.
so listen, we got some great topics today, Danny. Check it out. You brought this topic up, and
Yes.
I'm psyched about it because get the mic ready. Get ready to drop your effing mic because I got a name drop right now because of this topic. Okay. So, guys, the first topic we have for you guys today is something called grounding. Okay. What is grounding? All right. I'm gonna touch on it briefly, then we'll have Danny talk on it because I did my research on it. And grounding is an amazing phenomenon, a concept that has to do with holistic approach. It has to do with mind and body, right, Danny? Right? It
Yep.
has to do with centering yourself.
Yep.
And I'll tell you a little funny story, and then I'm gonna let you get into the topic because you did come up with the topic. So, guys, grounding is elevator version 101 is basically walking around in nature, being in one with nature, in bare feet. Doesn't have to just be in nature because we have grounding mats you can buy that provide frequencies. That's why we did 173 today. And so I got to tell you, I got a mic drop right now. Many of you guys listening right now might remember he's a great dude. I'm going to make a huge shout out to him. I should pull his picture up. I don't know if you guys remember the first Real World on MTV. All right, the very first Real World. Really good looking dude, nice guy. His name was Eric Nice. He was like a Calvin Klein model, all over billboards, all over the place, and just a good dude, martial artist. Shout out to Eric and his brother down in Red Hook, New Jersey, Red Bank or Red Hook. God, Red Hook's in Brooklyn, Red Bank, New Jersey. So I get this an email back in the day. I think it was from John. What's Johnny's last name? Friend of mine. He goes, hey, listen. And he goes, I got somebody that wants to get certified in Koga. For those of you guys that don't know, I'm also the creator of the Koga workout, which we have all over the world. Danny features it down in
Say
Danny.
it's not so.
All right. Shout out to Tony for teaching. It's a fusion of kickboxing and yoga. It's 8 different formats. It's called Koga, Koga. So martial arts, yoga, all that good stuff. All right. So all of a sudden I get an email from my buddy John, and he calls me up. He's like, hey, John, I got a guy. I mean, this guy, John, did productions and broadcasting and all that good stuff. He's like, I got somebody that wants to get certified, in Koga. I'm like, all right. And at the time I had a few celebrities that have done it before and whatnot. And he's like, I don't know if you ever heard of a guy named Eric Nice. I'm like, of course I know Eric Nice, man. Eric, I see, great shape, good looking dude. Marshall, I knew from him, his brother had a martial arts dojo down in Jersey. And sure, he's like, Eric wants to come get certified. I'm like, hey, dude, I'll be more. So over in Rockville Center, New York, at this gym, which I'm missing. Shout out to all of our Sky Athletic Club members that did Koga for many years before they closed down. So I invite Eric to come and my buddy John says, Johnny Kozma, Kozma, Johnny Kozma. Johnny, forgive me for not remembering your last name. Johnny Kozma, great dude. So in walks and I get Eric on the phone. He's like, hey, John, yeah, I want to come and get certified, blah, blah, blah. I said, wow, this is great, Eric. I'm going to bring my girlfriend. So don't hold me to this, but I'm almost positive his girlfriend, I can't think of her name, but at the time or prior to that, she was Miss Hawaii. Absolutely beautiful, angelic, just beautiful woman comes walking into the gym. And I noticed both of them. It was like, I'm talking, this was like March or 8 March up here in New York. It was cold. Both come walking in with like no shoes on. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, I go, hey, Eric, what's going on? I met him for the first time at my certification. It's a 10, mind you, it's a 10-hour, 1-day certification.
Right.
Introduced me to his beautiful, it's on my Facebook page. You can see the pictures and the images of it. I just can't think of her name. Anyway, long story, even longer. Let's cut it up so I can get back to you on the topic. Eric and his beautiful girlfriend at the time get certified. They do a 10-hour Koga certification barefoot. And Eric introduced it to me back then. He's like, John, yeah, we don't wear, whenever possible, we don't wear shoes. We're naturists. We're grounding. We're into this whole grounding concept. So I back then I was like, and that prompted me, believe it or not. I don't know if you guys remember, that prompted me, and I can't think of the name. And if you guys can remember the name, it's probably floating around in my shoe and sneaker warehouse over here in my office. But it prompted me to buy these things. They look like a glove that went on your foot.
Yeah.
So you walked around barefoot. There was a specific name for them, the brand that I had. It'll come to me as well. And Eric's like, John, if you don't want to do barefoot, try that glove that fits on your foot, just to get a feel how different the touch and the tune is with the earth, and how scented you are and how natural it feels. Vibrams, Vibram, called up Vibram. Anyway, they ended up sponsoring Koga. So shout out to Vibram. So I got these Vibrams on my feet, and it just changed the whole complexion of the Koga workout. So shout out to Eric for introducing me to grounding. And here it is 10 years later, Dani bringing up the topic of grounding. So Dani, talk to us about what you learned and what you heard and what you think about grounding.
So grounding has a great like healing thing, you know. I mean, y'all know that I'm into like the hertz frequency stuff. I listen to, you know, different kinds of, depending on what I want to focus or center myself on, you know, whether it's like my pineal gland. There's the nine, it's either 963 or 936 right now, I can't remember. But it's the pineal gland frequency, which the pineal gland has everything to do with, you know, how you are feeling and healing and the sickness and health and all that stuff. um you know, and then there's, you know, like the 639 and 432 and 5112 or 512. So like I listen to just depending on, um but you know, I can't remember why or how I started thinking about, you know, who was talking to me about the grounding. And I don't go a lot without shoes because I have short Achilles tendons, and so I put a lot of pressure on the balls of my feet, and I have neuroma, um, which, you know, my feet just constantly hurt, right? So I can't walk like on concrete or anything like that without
Right.
shoes. Even in the gym, like if I'm in the tanning bedroom and, you know, and I took off my shoes, like shit, I forgot something. I'm running out clothed, not naked, but you know, I had my shoes off and I'm going out into the to go get whatever I'm missing. That floor hurts so bad. So I'm either like taking baby steps to have my feet flat on the floor, or I'm walking on the toes, you know, the balls of my feet, because it just hurts. It hurts my feet, hurts my Achilles. So back when I was younger, they were just saying like in my Achilles, it was just growing pains. Now they know that if kids are having pain in the Achilles, that it's short Achilles, so they need to stretch it, or they will have these issues on the balls of their feet, the nerves and all that stuff. So, started, and I want to get more into like do it more frequently, but I've started like walking in the grass barefoot. So you're grounding. You can even hug a tree to ground. Like, it sounds stupid, but you can hug a tree to ground. But you're centering yourself around the earth, and
That's right.
basically,
Called earthing. Another
yeah,
name is called
earthing. Yeah,
earthing.
it's called earthing. So, like, just to read a quick thing about it, grounding helps such health conditions as recovery from illness and injury, jet lag, exhaustion, inflammation, arthritis, weight issues, depression, chronic pain, and more. Time in nature is significantly proven to rejuvenate our bodies, minds, and nervous system.
I love it.
So it basically, with the feet coming in contact with the earth, folks, we talk about it all the time. Like, the earth has so many healing, whether it's, you know, like pine needle tea, where you can get the pine needles right off the freaking, you know, and make your own tea. You know, earthing, grounding, you know, just hugging a tree, herbs, you know, that you can grow in your own garden, like, you know, rosemary and cilantro and all these things that will help take, you know, detox your body. So, I mean, grounding it is just another way to kind of like not just become one with the earth and all that stuff,
Right.
but it's the energy from the earth coming up through your feet barefoot, you know, and giving you that energy and those healing things that that I just said. So and they suggest to do 20 minutes. Now I want to do a little bit more research because sometimes I don't have 20 minutes, but obviously any amount of minutes is better than none. So, like, but I want to do some research if collectively, can you do 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 5 minutes here, as long as it's like at least 20 minutes in that day, right? I'm sure anything is better than nothing, right?
Yeah.
But just to for my own, peace of mind or whatever. But with the tennis shoes and stuff, you have the rubber soles, which kind of acts as a not a conductor. What's the opposite word?
Yeah, an insulator,
Yeah.
a
So it's
a rubber
yeah.
insulator.
Right. So it insulates from, feeling that energy, from the earth, from grounding. So, that's why, using, barefoot would be, like the best thing. And so I'm kind of like really getting into that.
Learn.
And now because I found out, about the 174 hertz. I want to, like listen, walk in the ground, walk on the earth and listen to that 174 and just really get into it,
That's awesome.
You can hug the tree, you can sit, so it's just basically getting back to nature, getting back to the basics so that we can heal ourselves. Now, is it a quick fix? If you have arthritis, you'd be like, oh, I stood out in the ground for 20 minutes and I still have my arthritis.
No.
Obviously, you're still going to have it. It's not going to quick fix anything, but over a period of time,
Yep.
it's
And
going to work and you're going to feel. I did it Sunday, and and I was like, shit, I didn't get a chance to do it last night because I was crazy. But
well, Danny, what
I
I
felt a lot better when I got
okay.
done doing that. I was just like, ooh, I'm like at
Yeah.
peace.
What I've learned, and I'm so glad you brought this topic because I love when I get to study a topic that I'm not too knowledgeable on. And those of you that, if you are knowledgeable on this, please drop us a comment, educate us, inform us, teach us. So actually, I read that there was an 8-week study that was done for people to try this. Okay. And within those 8 weeks, doing everything you just had mentioned, you guys, it works on sand, grass, earth,
Yeah.
and yeah. Okay. And dirt. Okay.
Right. Right.
So how it works is this: our bodies have an electrical conductivity to them. Okay, so think about it. We have ions running through and synapses firing off and triggering the electrons and ions in our body. Okay, constantly. I move my arm, I flex my bicep. There's some kind of electrical current that goes to our central nervous system that provides that body mechanic to take place. Okay, also on the inflammation side, if we have inflammation, if we have any kind of pains or neuropathy, like Danny had said, that all has electrical current that has to go through it. So let's think about the earth as a giant battery. Okay, the earth is a giant battery, and when you combine the electricity going through our bodies with this giant battery known as the earth, whether you're walking on the ground, on the dirt, on the grass, it's going to act. Okay, it's going to act to recharge us, to recharge our bodies, our minds. Okay, where in turn, that's where we're going to get all the benefits, like Danny said: de-stressing, anti-inflammation. All right, it's one of the most powerful antioxidants we can get naturally, that we can give our body, is through grounding and earthing. So I'm super excited about this topic, and I'm definitely going to give it a try because 10 years ago when Eric Nies had mentioned it to me, I just thought, all right, this guy's just a naturalist. He's walking around in bare feet,
Right.
maybe
Right.
trying to get a little. Eric didn't need to get attention. Guy was a freaking great looking dude, and he was a nice guy at that. So yeah, I think this topic is a pretty fascinating topic. Now there are something called grounding mats, Danny,
Right.
that you can practice on in your house. Just get a feel for how your body is in one with the earth, with the mat, with your
Right.
centering yourself and balancing. Hey, listen, there's a reason why Koga Heat. I'm gonna bring in Koga again because our Koga Heat format, which is our slow, controlled, flowing katas, KATA, choreographed series of flowing movements like in the martial arts. There's a reason why we do Koga Heat on our yoga mat. We want you to be in touch with the mat. The mat represents life and all the craziness you have to deal with to get through it. And when you do it in bare feet, it's a completely different experience, Dani. Great topic.
Yeah, yeah. And like with the mats, like actually the lady that does my massage, Susan Trump, in Hampstead, Main Street Boutique, she has grounding mats. So, that's kind of cool. So that's another service that she offers.
Sweet.
And by the way, so you plug Danny K, we plug Danny K. I just plugged Main Street.
Yep.
If you're wherever you're at, to go to my Facebook page and vote for Carroll County's best Danny K Gym and Wellness.
Oh
Just
shit, Dani, I
fucking
forgot. Say it, Dani.
yeah, so it's every day for I don't know, I think it's like 2 weeks or something like that, but you go in and vote every single day. So we go in, and do like all the different kinds of voting for, massage, photographer, realtor agent, gym, like whatever, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like car wash. So, shout out to Robert Rita Mobile Detailing. So get a chance. Vote for Carroll County's best gym.
Do it, guys. Get out there and vote. She's got to win this thing. You know what? Bottom line is whether if it's a popularity contest and a gym that has 8,000 members votes so and so. Okay, I get it, Dani. You're the number one down there, regardless, and
Right,
everybody
right.
knows that. All right, so listen. Let's tie it into our next. Let's tie it into our next subject. All right, we're going to stay on the whole natural theme and the natural outlooks on life and whatnot. So our next topic, Dani, that we want to discuss and I'm going to tell this topic was brought up to me by Jeannie, one of my members, and she said to me something about one of the Sizzle products, which she takes our products. She said, "Hey, John, can you find out, I see natural, you have guys have natural ingredients, excuse me." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's 100% I always say 100% natural, chemical free, toxins." And she said, "John, natural is not always better." And I said, "You're kidding me, right?" I said, "Let me reach out to the scientists and the people I have at Sizzle to find out."
Right.
And lo and behold, I do a Google search. I know you're not crazy about Google. You rather go to DuckDuckGo. So I use DuckDuckGo. I went to PubMed, one of my favorite websites. And I said, let's see what is the real difference between natural and artificial flavoring. Okay. And I was actually pleasantly surprised that we get fooled and tricked into thinking that because it says it's natural, natural meaning obviously it came from the earth. Okay. In its purest state. Okay. It's natural. But however, think about an orange or a tomato plant growing in your organic garden, okay? It's really not 100% natural because if there's any kind of pollutants in the air, if your neighbor got their yard sprayed with their grass sprayed with chemicals, or there's chlorine in their pool and the chlorine is dissipating into the air, this stuff can actually settle into things in nature that smog. Let's talk about the Green New Deal. Let's not. But natural is not always natural because we can't control certain aspects of the environment, the ozone layer. So
Right.
if there are pollutants that are actually, that's why we're supposed to say 80% natural to cover up for 20% of whatever there might be harmful
Yeah.
in that natural ingredient. So in a sense, artificial flavoring technically has more of a controlled environment because they know exactly what they're putting in these artificial flavors. So of course, I'm going to say stick with the natural flavoring and whatnot, but don't always be fooled that it says natural. And also check out the sugar levels. A lot of natural products have more sugar, obviously, and we know the artificial ones have fake sugar, which we don't want to take any either. Although there's a couple of good ones, stevia and agave and stuff like that. But natural flavoring, and once again, the FDA, because I wanted to research this, the FDA only requires you don't have, with artificial ingredients, you got to label every single artificial propylene or whatever the hell it's called, all these harmful ingredients that are found in antifreeze and stuff. There's guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have my propylene
Propylene.
Propylene is found in hint water. I didn't realize that, and I actually like hint water. It's also traces of it. Don't get me wrong. You're not drinking antifreeze, so don't come at me like I told you to drink bleach, okay? So we'll leave it at that. So sure enough, But once again, it could say natural flavors and there can still be stuff harmful that's in it. All right. So educate yourself, do your research on stuff. And believe it or not, I went and checked out a list of the best natural drinks that are natural. And you'd be surprised, but like Perrier water, flavored water, and a couple of these other flavored waters were actually the best naturally flavored waters as opposed to the hint waters and the other ones. So guys, don't be fooled by naturals versus artificial. Danny, I know you understand this stuff as well. What do you have to contribute to the natural versus artificial flavorings?
Well, I mean, as yes, with natural, like okay, so we have a garden in our in a backyard and stuff like that. So yeah, neighbor has a pool, so the chlorine could get in there. I do get my True Green comes out and does my yard, but they don't spray it directly on, and they
Yep.
they pay attention and they go, but it still can go up into the air, or whatever. So yeah, so as it isn't completely, but there's no like chemical going directly on it. So when you're looking
That's
at
right.
organic, or like your backyard, and you're like, oh my god, I'm not going to do my backyard garden because shit gets on it, and too well, but it's not sprayed directly on it, so it's still better than any fruit or vegetable or anything like that that is not organic, that is sprayed on, okay, like pesticides and stuff like that. And as far as like the FDA, we know that that's kind of like
Well, yeah, we don't
whatever.
have. That's a whole other can of
um
worms. You don't have to open.
it's a whole nother can of worms. And so, and like there, and I recently, with my researches and so forth, there's some shit in some foods that we love, Swedish fish and Pepsi products. And I showed Mike and Lindsay the list of what is actually in those things, and I'm not going to go into it because that's a whole nother episode. But and it's actually crazy, and if you knew what was actually in them for flavoring that they don't have to put on the label.
That's
So
right.
that's another thing, you know what I mean? Like, do your research, and like I said, I'm not a fan of Google. Like, if I just want to like research something that just like the world would know, I just go on Google. But if I want to actually know some truth about something, I go to DuckDuckGo, or some other sources that aren't going to like skew and tell us what they want us to know. I want to know what I want to know, so I do some research. I go into the rabbit hole. I
Yeah.
deep dive into
Yeah.
things that I want to actually know. So but I mean,
Well,
food for thought. You know what I mean?
no doubt. So listen, let's bring up the late great Tom Mao, folks. For those of you that
Yes.
don't know Tom Mao, Danny K, myself, and millions of other people absolutely love this man. He really changed our lives significantly. He was the owner, still is. The family owns it. So Tom Mauer Sr. passed away over a year and a half, about a year ago, this past July, which I'm still shocked that it's a year. He was the original owner and of Sizzle International, which is, I told you, science, innovation, success, energy, and longevity is the acronym. And when I first met Tom years ago, Tom, he really did he's a scientist. Okay. He has a lab full of scientists. Some actually, I think we're actually on the Nobel Prize winning teams that we have out there in Sizzle, 400,000 square foot production plant. So Tom told us one time when I first met him, I went to the seminars on natural products versus artificial flavors. And Tom said to me that when he started creating his company back in the 80s, he started because a lot of these products, like the dishwashing detergents, the soaps, that he goes, there was stuff found in there that, they built oil, like they made synthetic oil for your car. And it's like, how are we putting stuff like this on our bodies and in our bodies if they're using the same chemicals that you use in a car that we're using on our bodies? All right. So what happened was, Danny, I think we lost you for a second, but you'll come back. So what happened was
Yeah, I'm there.
Tom had then told us, I'm going back a couple of years, he said, guys, let's take Sizzle's toothpaste, Super Shine, and which I happen to use. And he said years ago, I think actually right up until a few years ago, if you looked on the back of a toothpaste, the very, very smallest of small print, years ago, formaldehyde was put in toothpaste because it helped with decay. It helped fight. So, in one end, on one aspect, in one respect, it actually helped combat tooth decay. On the other aspect, you're putting formaldehyde, small traces, of course, into your body. So, the FDA made the these toothpaste companies put a label on the box, very small print that said, if swallowed, immediately call poison control. Wait a minute. Toothpaste
Right.
in your mouth.
Right.
If swallowed, immediately call poison control. And Tom said that opened his eyes and that prompted him to saying, how can this be? The hypocrisy of natural products. You know, ours is obviously all natural mint and whatnot, but that's if you want to check out a great toothpaste called Super Shine. Matter of fact, I probably should have featured it. We'll call that the featured product today. Sizzle's
There you go.
toothpaste is called Super Shine. We can get you guys some. But guys, think about it. You're putting something in your mouth because you have to. It's a product that goes in your mouth. But yet, if you swallow it, now mind you, you probably have to swallow 16 gallons of it. But just knowing that that label was on there, once I saw that, I was done. I was done. So natural does not always mean healthier or better, Dani. All right. Now with Sizzle products, natural does mean healthier or better. So, you know, give it some consideration if you guys want to switch over some products that are going to be healthier for you. The cost might even be cheaper. And if you want a little side hustle with it, we can teach you guys how to make a couple of bucks like Dani and myself do. I'm out of breath, Dani, which leads us to our next topic. All right. I know, and you know this as well. How many, if we had a penny for every time somebody asked us, when I'm working out and I'm lifting, how do I breathe? Am I holding my breath? Am I this? Am I that? I'll give you my interpretation of it. And then Dani's probably going to give you a similar one, but I want her to give you examples of it. Okay. So folks, the first thing I tell my clients, especially if they're new to working out, whether they're doing cardio and strength training, it varies a little bit. Okay. Keyword, natural breathing. Do not hold your breath. Do not try to figure out your breathing pattern when you're working out. That's going to subconsciously make you hold your breath. We're not thinking about breathing right now. We're just breathing, correct? Right. So when it comes to working out, the short version, and then I'm going to hand it off to Dani to give some examples, is that anytime you're exerting yourself, let's use a squat, for instance, you're squatting down, you're going to inhale. When we're exerting, we're going to exhale, blow it out, and that's going to give us a little bit more of an oomph. It's going to allow the fresh oxygenated blood to run through our blood, fresh oxygen to run through our blood, and that's the 101 of it. There's a breathing technique that I want you guys to learn. It's called 4-7-8. The number 4-7-8. You're going to close your lips. Okay, you're going to inhale for 4 seconds through your nose. Matter of fact, everybody try it right now. Put the bonbons down, okay? I can't say put the cigarettes, beer, alcohol, and pina coladas down because I got in trouble. No, I ain't getting in trouble. I'm joking. Do what you want to do, man. It's your life. Check it out. Have fun. As long as you're living, you're breathing, have fun. So close your bottom lip. You're going to inhale up through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold it for 8 seconds. Exhale for 7 seconds. Or was it 7-8? 4-7-8. All right. So that is let me put my bifocals on because I want you guys to learn. It's 4-7-8. Inhale with the lip closed through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold it for 7 seconds. Exhale longer for 8 seconds out of your mouth. That will, when I tell you, if you guys have high blood pressure, if you guys have white coat syndrome like I do when I go to my doctor to get my blood pressure taken, it shoots through the roof. Think 4-7-8 breathing. Close your eyes. Do about 10 reps before they put that cuff on you. You're going to be golden. Trust me, Dani. How important, Dani, is breathing to you and your clients and members at Dani K Gym and Wellness? Talk to us, Dani.
You said it, like you want to inhale and exhale on the exertion. So, anytime the weight is being lifted, whether you're squatting, the weight is being lifted when you push up, right? Not when you go down, when you push up. When you do a lat pull down, when you see the weight stack going up, that's when you're going to exhale. I try not, especially with new clients, I try not to, get in on that too much. I look and see how they're breathing. If they're breathing, like exhaling on the exertion, I shut up, right? And then sometimes they'll say, well, how am I supposed to breathe? I'm like, you're doing it perfect. I'm not going to tell you. Because when you tell them, then they start thinking about it and then they start doing the opposite, right? Another thing, years ago, I had a guy that I knew. He would breathe opposite, and he actually blew out as not blew out as in bad, but like his belly
Abdominals. Yep.
got
Protruding
big.
belly, protruding gut.
Right? Yeah. So,
Protruding
and
gut.
he's like, lo and behold, it was because of the way I was breathing. I was like, yeah, like, let me guess, you were holding your breath on the exertion. And he was like, yeah. So, so, I mean, that can actually happen when you're doing, I've definitely emphasized breathing when you're doing crunches, because a lot of times people, when they're doing abs, they definitely hold their breath. When they're lifting, they tend to breathe and, just let it flow natural. But if they do ask, I say, like, on the exertion, whenever you're lifting the weight is when you want to exhale. But definitely on the crunches, you want to exhale on the crunch, because if you hold your breath, you're going to create, like an outward belly. Your muscles, think about your belly as a balloon, right? So if you inhale, the balloon is full, right? And so you're crunching, and that's how you're training your abs
Diaphragm. Yep. Yep.
in that full motion. So you want a flat belly, so you got to let all the air out of the balloon, let all the air out of the belly as you're crunching. So we're training and getting a flat stomach.
Nice. Now,
Yeah.
also keep in mind, folks, for those of you that now let's translate this over to cardio, to like a Koga class or your Zumba class or your HIIT class. So many people say they're getting lightheaded or dizzy. So anytime we bring our head above and below the level of our heart, we tend to hold our breath. This all boils back to what Dani just said. Again, with holding your breath can cause lightheadedness or dizziness. Now, mind you, we teach in the certification, Koga certification, that there are 3 stages of dizziness, lightheadedness, and a lot has to do with the lights that you're in the room. They omit a flicker. I'm not going to get too technical on you guys. I'm going to take it back to breathing. Also, you can get dizzy or lightheaded from not eating something at enough time before you work out, so you can tap into that sugar storage. But on the breathing side of it, think about the yoga. Think of pranayama breathing. In yoga, we have something called pranayama breathing. Okay. Yoga practitioners have the most beautiful, fluent, flowing, non-exertive breath than any other exercise exercise practitioner that's out there. It's beautiful to watch. It's controlled. It's slow. It moves. It flows with their movement. Now, when you're doing high intensity workouts, you just can't breathe like that. So breathe naturally. I'll tell everybody, if their heart rate becomes way too high, if you're looking down at your tracker and your heart rate's way out of the zone, I want you guys to go to a touch tap step, just a side to side touch tap step. And I want you to inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. Inhale through your nose when the heart rate is really elevated. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your nose. That's going to bring it down perfectly for you. Okay. So think about your breathing. Don't think about your breathing, like Dani said. But if you do become a little bit, now that we're mentioning it now, shit, like these guys told me this. Now I'm going to be aware of my breathing. I shouldn't even listen to this stupid podcast. Well, guys, it'll definitely help you. You want to know why? Because if you breathe correctly on strength training, think of a power lifter. These guys are friggin' deadlifting 1,000 pounds, 800 pounds. Watch their diaphragms. Watch when they breathe. That extra oomph, that extra push they get on exertion will get you through that final rep, one of the most important reps, okay? So keep in mind all the things we discussed when it comes to your breathing. Don't think about it. But if you find you are holding your breath, or if you get off and you look in the mirror and your face is red, because you were probably holding your breath, guys, and that's not good. It's going to slow down your metabolism. It's going to slow down your VO2 max, which is your lung capacity, and nothing good comes from it. Now, once again, there are advanced breathing patterns and techniques that tell us to hold our breath, but those are techniques. That doesn't have to do with working out. When the heart rate is up, there's a certain breathing pattern that has to coincide with those beats per minute. All right. So that's something you guys all need to learn, whether it's your first day working out or it's just in advanced, musclehead meatball, in the gym, like half of my buddies. You have to learn how to breathe correctly. All right, Dani. So
John, even like with martial arts and everything,
you just took the next thing out of my,
you know what I mean? Like boxing,
Thank you.
you're exhaling, right? When they go to punch you in the gut, you're supposed to kia, right? Because you're supposed to, so that you don't, if you're holding your breath.
Thunder. You stole
Oh!
Good for you.
If you hold your breath and you get punched in the stomach, you're gonna get passed out, right? So you got to breathe. You got to kia. You got to, the boxers, you're gonna go because they're exerting every time they jab. They're exerting, right? Also protecting themselves. Like if they're getting jammed at the same time,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep, for sure, no doubt. And guys, that has to do with controlling your diaphragm. Okay, your diaphragm when you're getting punched in the stomach, or you're exerting, like Danny said, a kia, and you're snapping a front punch. All right, it's so much more empowering when you say that. And you'll hear boxers, you'll hear them go. What do they? You'll hear.
Yeah.
That's they're contracting their diaphragm to get the maximum performance out of that punch. I think I know how to punch, Danny, but we'll leave it
I
at that.
think
We
I
don't.
think so. Wait a minute. Are you sleeveless like Danny K? You got the Danny K
Yeah, yeah,
Danny K
baby. I
shirt
cut
on?
him on. I cut the Koga Fitness shirt up today for you, Danny.
What?
I still don't have your guns, but you know what? Big guns, no bullets. What are you gonna do? I
Ah,
tell you, man, that was fun, guys. So, guys, if you guys, we really do appreciate all of you, all of you. The last 2-3 weeks, our podcast has skyrocketed on views, on subscriptions, and it's because each and every one of you, whether you hate us or love us, and we know most of you guys love us. Listen, we can't make everybody happy in the world. And you know what? If you're one of those persons that are just nonstop Debbie Downer, miserable, we can't help you. We're trying to here. We're trying to give you guys a positive. Oh, somebody said they dropped so many F bombs. I don't know what the fuck to tell. Oh my God, I should have said that.
fuck them.
I don't know what to
Fuck them
tell
if they
you.
can't take a joke.
This podcast is about KFIT talk. Me and Danny are ourselves. All right. Now we're respectful, of course. But on this open airways like this, we get excited. Our emotions kick in. We drop a few F bombs here and there. I'm not really an F bomb. Matter of fact, I have had people tell me, John, we've never heard you once curse in class. We've never heard you curse in conversation. We go on your podcast and you drop F bombs. And I'm like, guys, I'm sorry. I'm not politically correct, I guess, on my podcast. And if you don't like the podcast or there's something here you don't like, nobody's twisting your arm to listen to it. But keep listening to it, because every time you
Right,
listen, we
right.
could eat. We're able to eat. So, guys, you guys know I love you guys. Once again, I want to thank you, all of you, even the haters out there. It's okay, man. It's part of life. Social media, I get it. Doesn't make you a bad
Hey,
person.
if you aren't being hated, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, 45 said if they're not talking about you, you're doing something wrong, baby. But that's that. So listen. We hope you guys enjoy the content we have. I have people. Shout out to Jen over in Lindenhurst. Jen's going through some troubled time right now with her mom, and we want to pray for Jen's mom that she's gonna have a speedy recovery on this terrible, horrific Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. That people that live with it, and even pray for the people that have to support the people that a loved one that has this Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. And Jen
It's not
has her
easy.
mom taking, Sizzle's Brain Vitality, and she hasn't been able to get on the podcast. I know she's going to be listening to this one, Jen. So our thoughts and prayers are with you. We love you, Jen. You're one of our number one fans on the podcast, and we have many of you guys out there. So, guys, you know what? You ask for thoughts and prayers, and we're going to get it from us. All right. So that's what we do. We're here to you guys support us. We support you. Maybe learn how to have a little bit more forgiveness in our hearts, which I should probably learn myself. So I'll take that into consideration. And we appreciate, I like to say one Koga love. I'm out, and hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on social media, guys, make sure you guys go to your phones, go to your podcast, go to your Google podcast, go to your Apple podcast, go to your Spotify's, go to that podcast and go to KFIT Talk with Danny K and John Koga, Danny K. Hit subscribe. We got 6 seasons. We're in 6th season, episode 7. We have hundreds of great, amazing topics, and we've never really doubled up on covering them. So
No.
I thank you guys. And Danny, you like to close us out, with a little word as always. And take it away, Danny. It's all on you.
Thank you guys. And smash the subscribe button as always. Share it as always. Go to my link, or just Carroll County's best. Search it, and give a little vote for Danny K Gym and Wellness. Anyway, plug. But anyway, guys, stay tuned, stay informed, stay motivated. 174 frequency. Ground yourself.
Breathe, baby. Just breathe. Just breathe. If you're still with us, I want you guys to practice 478 right now.
Yep.
Close your eyes. Close your lips. Open your nostrils. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold it for 7 seconds. Exhale out of your mouth for 8 seconds long. And try it again. We love you guys. Take care. All right, let's end.